Hello and welcome to the next episode of Your Health Moment. And I'm your host, Dr. Fitness. I'm really excited about this podcast. I love doing this podcast because what I get to do is introduce you to really great people that are inspirational. They're going to help you to think about life a little bit different. They're going to help you to, maybe think about what you're doing with exercise and what you're doing with nutrition a little bit better. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Sharon Saraga-Walters. Waters. Did I get it right? Walters. Thank you. So apologize for the mess up on Waters. Walters. Walter. Walters. It's about my pronunciation. It's about my ability to speak at this point. That's all that is. Well, let me tell you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Sharon?
Wow, thank you. So I have spent actually most of my life working in personal growth, but I had a real love for fitness and exercise most of my life. And as I was telling Max, I want to just go right into this and say this, but as I was telling Max, I've been into gratitude for actually my whole life, but I've written books and so forth over the past 10 years ago. I started writing books on gratitude. And my fitness background, I graduated in health promotions. I was a fitness trainer for 8 years in Jacksonville before fitness was even, this was in the 80s, late 80s. And so I combined 10 years ago my two, I call them my superpowers, and that is gratitude and exercise. And I have been doing this work of sharing it, but never to the fitness wellness community. This is the first time, and I'm so excited about that.
And I'm thrilled that you're doing it. And in full disclosure, I consider Sharon to be a really dear friend. And we met in Jacksonville. We did a seminar for personal growth together. So we were involved in a seminar system for personal growth. But one of the cool things about it is I was personal training at the time. And when Sharon was moving away from personal training at the time, I was kind of moving in. And it was neat where some of the clients I picked up were previous clients of yours. And they had nothing but wonderful things to say about you. So that was my influence of how you were as a training professional. And then everyone raved about you as a massage therapist. So there was time you were doing body work as well. And those two also pair really well together. So I always felt like I'm following in Sharon's footsteps as we're moving along. And I've loved the fitness space. And then I moved into wellness. And Sharon, you've moved into really building a gratitude kind of empire out there in Denver. So besides books, are you doing groups and lecturing and?
That's what I've been doing a lot of is I've been on a lot of podcasts. I've been doing a lot of speaking and sharing the work with the gratitude and exercise, and it's just begun because the whole work of gratitude and that I call it graticize. It really, I know this is my legacy that I really will be leaving with the world, and it's so interesting. It's interesting because and thank you so much for your compliment about when you met me and how I was and my clients how they felt that as well. And
Raved.
I appreciate that, and I think, but here's something I wanted to share with you. I don't want to forget about this because when I knew I was talking with you today, looking back in my fitness days and even massage, but particularly fitness days, from our personal growth background and what we were doing in the personal growth world, what I remember back then was it was so much around positive thinking, mostly positive thinking. That's what comes to mind for me, which was a beautiful, wonderful thing. But what I realized is there was still more that I wanted. There was something still more that I wanted. And that's when the gratitude piece came, because the reason I even wrote books and I got into gratitude is because of how much I was taking for granted, that I wasn't in a deeper place appreciating things. And that's how
Wow.
this whole thing started. It just came to me today, preparing myself for the few seconds before we came on, as to that really was something that was really amazing for me to come to.
See, that's really fantastic. And I always liked the way you paired, gratitude with exercise. So what was the foundation? I know you have the background in exercise. Was it because of the background in exercise, or did you see gratitude as more as something you need to practice as you would exercise, something that you need to continue to do to get better at?
Well, I think it was once I found the gratitude piece again in my life and how important it was, the same impact that exercise had for me. Those two, exercise when it came into my world just changed it completely for myself as a person, of how it made me feel and what it did for me. Gratitude did the same thing. And I'd been involved with the exercise world for so long that it was the perfect combination for me. I couldn't leave fitness behind. So what I did is I just blended and combined the two. And I came up with different exercises to help strengthen your gratitude muscle. And everything I
Oh,
do
that's
with the
fantastic.
gratitude work is I put gratitude, it's putting gratitude into action. So it's all action oriented. And even in my latest book, I use all the fitness terms, like I use the wake up, the warm up, the cool down, the workout, and the cool down. Those are all in my book. So they go
Oh,
hand in
that's
hand.
fantastic. It's funny when I'm doing exercise because now I'm wellness coaching. So I'm helping people to put together exercise plans, nutrition plans. As you're speaking, I'm realizing a gratitude plan would go really nice with this.
I
Have
couldn't agree
you?
more. I totally agree. And that's what's exciting about doing this today, because I've really I wanted to get this into the fitness community. And I don't think I had written my latest book, Max, when we last spoke. And this last book really, it's called Gratisize 365. And I think it's a book that could really be a wonderful um, guide to help create another part of the program, because it's 4 steps to exercising gratitude daily is the title below in the book.
Oh, that's fantastic. Um, I think another thing I did that I haven't shared was I completed a spiritual direction course. It was a 3-year program developed by an organization in the Orlando area. And I wanted to do it as a trainer and a wellness coach, not for any spiritual aspect to preach to people. It wasn't about that, but it was about being a better listener
Mhm.
and being able to be present. So
Mhm.
it's like if someone is sharing, and people tend to open up when you're working with them in an exercise in situation, particularly when it's one on one, you know, exercise can bring out things that people are feeling and they
Mhm.
feel safe about sharing it. And I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that I was able to be present and to really be present and handle it well. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And not put my stuff in to their stuff and just give them really wonderful space to
Mhm.
be able to share that.
Mhm.
And so that's why I did the course, and it's really been helpful. And I created a program based on the course called Spirit Fit.
Mm.
And it's about helping people to understand that there are going to be times that it's okay to be present. So, from the trainer aspect, it helps trainers to actually be present to clients when they want to speak and when they have things that they want to speak without hijacking the conversation, you know,
Yeah.
which sometimes we do because if someone says something that's uncomfortable, we want to like go in and cut it off. But then it comes from the program that we did as well, the live stream program,
Mhm.
about not doing that as well.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of all these lessons have come together. And I definitely see what you're doing with gratitude. It just feels like it's right in that same space of providing space, but also providing really interesting tools.
I love what you just shared, that you're doing, and my goodness, had I been a trainer much longer, I would have been needing that course so much, what you were talking about, because it's so true. It's so important. It's so important that you're able to share that with other trainers. And yes, I would love um, to for you or others to share this with other trainers, what I'm doing, because it just it just gives another area to take action to create a good routine, good habits into your life, and you get to choose them yourself. I give all kinds of choices, and so it's not as specific, because I give the space for people to really have to choose from different ways that they come to, as far
Hmm.
as really bring the quality of their life. I mean, it's just been amazing. Um, what it's done for me, and I've been doing this from the book. I mean, I'm doing this daily, and it's blowing me away of just seeing the way in which my life works and how I show up, and if I show up in a way, it's going to make a huge difference to my clients and everybody else.
Oh, that's like amazing. So when we're talking about this, it's funny it's wonderful being able to speak to you about it from a trainer's, you know, vantage point.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had train or clients that have been a little more challenging than others and
Hmm.
having a hard time getting to that place where they're owning it. And they have you until they do. See what you're doing now with Gratisize.
Hmm.
Do you see a place now to maybe start with Gratisize either before someone starts with a full-fledged program, or do you see how to integrate it with maybe a client that's struggling?
Oh, thank you for even. I love these questions. I would say that integrate it from the beginning, and just even pose the suggestion of it. Because let me just share one thing about. So for me, I was thinking back when I was a trainer. The things that I'm doing now, I never did before. My first step on that book is about the wake up, being intentional, seeing how do I wake up. When I was a trainer, I look back when I was a trainer, and I'll never forget this. I love what I do. I loved it, but I just jumped out of bed. I didn't think about anything about my day, about me, a check-in, nothing about that. That was the wake up, and that went until 4 years ago, I'm going to say, because I never woke up, had any intention around that. How do you wake up? You know, where's the thank you? I'm grateful to be alive bit. I didn't have that. So that's like just like an example of what just this one step that never was implemented. I also didn't make the time to have, I call it a gratitude morning routine, but you could have just a morning routine. All those years as a trainer, I didn't have that. I just jumped out of bed, got dressed, out with my clients, didn't give any thoughts to it.
Sharon, what was the thing that helped you to integrate that or realize, you know what, I need this time to just check in for myself? What
Oh,
was there
well,
a
it was the
wake up
book. It
call?
was it was it was the gratitude work,
Okay.
and it slowed me down. Again, about the appreciation. I had to slow down to start appreciating things. And it took till this third book to
Wow, that's
really see
amazing.
something. I said, because I wrote the third book because of things it was going deeper for me of gratitude. And I said, still something's missing here. And that's when I realized that I had to look at these steps, how I woke up, how I planned my morning throughout the day until I go to bed. And that's was created from me. I practiced on myself, seeing what's missing, and that was the missing pieces there.
Well, so I'm going to repeat that back because whew, it was good. It was a lot, right? So what
Uh,
I believe I heard you say
mhm,
was when you did the third book,
mhm.
the first and second, there wasn't enough hands-on action steps included, you felt? Is that what I
Yes. Hmm.
I heard you
Hmm.
say? Okay. So you said I really need to integrate action steps to really bring it home and to embrace it better. From
And the action steps covering the entire day,
okay,
not just in the morning, not in just as I wake up. I needed a full day to really
okay.
implement that. And it's easy. There's not a lot of things you have to do, but to make it a full day. Hmm.
Um, yeah, I love this. Can you give me some examples? Like I would think, I'm just guessing. I unfortunately will be getting the third book soon, but and I'd love to have you back too after I read
Hmm.
it. Um, but I get being gratitude in the morning, but being able to do that throughout the day. Does it look like meditation throughout the day, or does it look
And
like
again, this is my version, but people could do whatever they do. So to me, the meditation, like so in the wake up for me is like um taking a breath, and again about that just feeling grateful to be alive, to be able to breathe, to open my eyes, those kind of things. And then also in that moment too, or in my morning routine, I'll visualize my day. Oh my goodness, how I used to never do that. Just really look at my day ahead. And I also throw in there about seeing it the way I want it to go, the way I want it to look, and say thank you for that. And that can be the start. For me, for the work, I call it the workout. So during the day, because I realized that's when it kind of slipped off. And by the way, also the morning routine is also around writing gratitudes, saying them out loud, writing them down, whatever that is for you. Um, but so during the day, I was realizing I wasn't really thinking about gratitude and what I can be grateful for. So I call them, now get this, you're gonna love this. So I call them grata-reps.
oh, I
And
love it.
I have in the book you see it says stop and give me three grata-reps. So it's about really looking in your day and finding things around gratitude, things to be grateful for. Yeah. And then I
Wow,
have a cool down at night. It's a cool down. So you get to, to yourself before you go to bed, you just start reflecting on your gratitudes for the day.
it's beautiful. And I like the way you frame it. Um, because they're terms that we're really all familiar with.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think a lot of times when we're talking about things like gratitude and mindfulness, for the average person, there are terms that can be kind of not within our normal mental grasp.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think when you're going, okay, warm up, you're
Hmm.
doing your workout and your cool down,
Yep.
it's like it simplifies it for the, the those of us who are not as sophisticated with our language on being introspective and doing that kind of work.
Hmm.
So wow, was that your goal?
Oh, yes. I mean, absolutely. Because that was my that was my talk was, again, the fitness had not left me, but gratitude came in and I couldn't leave either of them out. And it just had to blend. And I say that, that my legacy is taking fitness to a higher level because it is. It's a because of the terminology, because it's action, it's a little spin on it, but it comes from a fitness trainer, a previous fitness trainer, and just it's just me, it's my personality, it's my everything about that, and I couldn't think of a better world than the fitness world to bring something like this to everyone.
Oh yeah, it's really exciting and it's so needed.
Hmm.
From my experience, I think when you focus so much on the physical, I think you lose a lot where it comes to your
Hmm.
health and your wellness than focusing on what I believe, you know, wellness and health really starts with your brain and the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's kind of step one, getting your mind in the right place has been my journey. Um, and so everything that you're doing, it's, with gratitude to get someone when you're really grateful, it'd be
Hmm.
easier to move into other aspects of doing things that are good for yourself, that
Yeah.
add to your self care, because you started off with self care
Hmm.
by being really grateful and launching with gratitude.
Yeah. Well, it's so true. And the other thing that came to mind was as a fitness trainer for me, like I never said nice things about myself. That's one of the things in gratitude when you get more into a gratitude space, you start saying nice things for yourself. You start celebrating yourself more. Not just, I mean, it was stunning when I really looked back at those days. Those were things I didn't do. Even appreciation of my own body. I didn't even do that back in the day when I was a fitness trainer. I was so into in the mind and the action of just do, get people fit, get me fit. That was it. I didn't think of anything else but that.
And at that point for you, because when I'm thinking get fit now, the people that I tend to work with are over 45. So they're 45 to 85.
Mm-hmm.
And the mindset is maintaining health, but there is an interesting shift that I think gratitude coaching could help, because they are thinking, I just want to get out of pain, or I just want to, it's always in the negative as the thought
Mm-hmm.
and not in the positive. So we're living in that negativity, and that's the driving force, not the positivity.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I used to, and when I would exercise, it's interesting, like I would, I was not such an intensive one when I would do that. I do marathons and stuff like that, but now I go into and I'm now in Colorado, I go to a gym. I never used to go to a gym because in Florida I could be outside and do all my exercise. But when I go to a gym, I'm noticing I look at myself, I compliment myself, but I'm also gentle with myself when I work out. I have this great, gentle spirit about me when I work out now. I never used to do that. I never
Oh,
used to
that's
take notice of it.
how can I mean, I guess one, when you look at the people that you wrote Gratitude 365 for,
Mhm.
in your mind when you were writing it, can you describe them to me?
The people that I was
Thinking
wanting to
about as
reach,
you were writing Gratitude 365, who were you hoping this book would serve?
really everyone. I mean, truly, I really believe that because it it changed my world. So I would say everyone. And of course the fitness world, the massage world, those are two of my worlds that I've been in for so many years. I would love to touch that world, the massage world and the fitness world. But everyone else in between that, it really can, there's nobody that couldn't benefit from it, and the way in which it's written, and just, yeah, I would say everyone.
Do you have any thoughts about approaches to those are technical things? I'm really willing to talk about how people can get it. Let me start there. How can people find you and get the material, get the book? How can they buy it?
So if they go to my website, it's on Amazon, the books, but if my on my website, Gratisize, it's Graticie
Hmm.
365, the numbers. If they go to that, gratisize365.com, all the books are there, how they can order them. Um, there's a cool there's a cool Gratifit test that I created also, and that's way cool. And you can take the test. It's on the website. It really is a great thing, and we've got so much information there. But that would be a good place.
Oh my God, I love this. So tell me, if I take the gratified test, I said that right?
Gratifit test, Gratifit.
Gratifit test.
Mhm.
Um, it's going to tell me my level. How's it scored? It's like, well, you definitely need it, or you are in critical need of gratitude. I mean, how is it scored?
It's very gentle. That's the thing that I realized as I was giving it out, and that's the other thing. People were so, when I used to do this with people, they were so hard on themselves. They judged themselves, and so I've gotten a whole system of, not just, it's not about the numbers. It's about just every answer that they get, the numbers. It's a gift because they get to see where they're at, what's missing, that they never knew before. So from the lowest score, it tells you, yeah, that the book would be helpful. So it's in terms that are not brutal. And for people, I just encourage them not to judge themselves when they do take the test.
So this is great. So if you're listening right now and you're not sure if you're doing as much gratitude, or experiencing, or really using gratitude, or I don't even know, can you help me with
So
that?
here's the thing
Okay.
about people. When I was thinking about this today, okay, so do you exercise, and then do you practice gratitude, but do you exercise gratitude? Have you ever, tell me what that would look like in your life? if you were to exercise gratitude? Because there holds the curiosity.
It
Do I
does. I
exercise
think.
gratitude?
Look, you lost me. No, see, when I think about exercising, I'm thinking about movement.
Uh-huh.
Um, but when I think about exercising gratitude, I'm thinking about being present and mindful.
Okay, but what about taking a gratitude walk and looking at all the beauty in the nature and the
Oh,
sounds and the air?
mm. See, I'm not. Look, my brain goes a whole different direction. I need the book.
Yes, you
So,
do.
but I love that because these questions, if you ever ask yourself these questions, you probably need to do the Gratafit test
Mm,
first.
yeah,
So everyone should do the Gratafit test and
yeah.
see how you score.
Hmm. Yeah.
And at that point, I love that. I mean, it's like doing your assessment, and then at that point, you can can you retake the test and see how you've
Oh,
improved?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and in the test at the end of it, I tell people to take the ones that there's some that you never do, sometimes never, and it's taking the ones that you never do and practice those because it's an eye-opening. I mean, I really do mean it's a gift, every one of them. When you see that you something that you never do, if you can be open to that and look at that and start to look at doing it, what a gift. So yeah, they can continually do it and check to see what they're doing. It's a great test, and it's 18 of the questions from my first book called the 28-day gratitude workout. So there's 18 questions from that are part of the Gratefit.
Oh, I'm loving it. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with me all of this amazing information. I will be getting a book and I will be reaching out after I
I
read it
Please do. I would
because
love it.
I mean it's going to be natural fit for a follow up.
Yeah. I,
So I'm hoping that everyone listening will join me and get the book and let's start a discussion about it. Uh, there was one time you did workshops, if I'm not mistaken.
I have done some. They are coming.
Okay.
I've been spending a lot of time with on the podcast, just reaching the people. But if there's people that are interested in going further with this, then workshops they can be happening really quick.
Oh, that's
Absolutely. I'd love.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, Sharon, I want to, stop prolonging because I could stay here all day. And I know you have a million things that you need to do. Sharon, thank you so much for coming in. Hey, if you missed anything, Sharon's information are gonna be in the contact information is gonna be in the show notes, so you'll be able to get the information there. And Sharon's contact information will also be in the show notes, so you'll be able to reach out directly to Sharon with any
Mm.
questions, or Sharon might even give you personal insight into your Gratafit test. Hey, who
Absolutely.
knows?
Yeah.
Um, Sharon, thanks again. Is there anything that you'd like to add, Sharon?
Max, I can't thank you enough for this moment in time. I would call this as one of my gratitude moments to be able to talk about this to the fitness community, the wellness community. I thank you so much.
No, thank you for doing this, seriously, and bringing this gift of gratitude to all of us.
Thank you.